Could you briefly introduce yourself and your role at Lumi?
I'm Sylvain Darcy and I'm a product manager at Luni. So Luni is a mobile first company which is based in Bordeaux, France. So we at Luni we focus on building mobile apps. This is our expertise, and apps that people enjoy using on their phones. So we've been doing that for almost 10 years now. And so currently I'm leading app Shorts, which is our short drama app that was launched in about 2 years ago, yeah, early 2024.
Could you briefly introduce Shorts?
Yeah, so I was saying Shorts is our short drama app. So it's one of the first and few European short drama apps. So we publish original exclusive series every week or so, and we produce them on in Los Angeles. Yeah, we have a production team there
Where is it? Where you
in
produce?
in Los Angeles.
What type of genres or story formats currently perform well in Shorts?
So what has been working well for us are the rom-coms, enemies to lovers, age gap. I mean, classic tropes, but yeah, especially titles like "Oops, I Married My Enemy" has been one of our biggest performers, and also a young adult story named "Dear Stranger, I Love You," which is currently working pretty good for us. But also, yeah, depending on the channels we advertise, some stories are working better than others. For example, the age gap stories are more difficult to advertise on TikTok, for example. So yeah, there's also a channel and an advertising thing into the success of the stories.
Are you mean like young girls or elderly men, those kind of relationship? Is that what you mean?
Yeah, this is it.
Personal perspective, how do you define short drama and why do you see the essence or core of it?
Well, for me, I mean, short drama is all about compressing the emotional intensity as opposite as a traditional TV series. I mean, in a TV series, you have the luxury of setting the story, building the tension in 3 episodes. In short drama, you have to do it in 3 minutes. But it's really about compressing that emotion. The essence of short drama is that every episode must end on something that makes stopping feel uncomfortable for the viewer. So in that sense, it might be much closer to a novel that would read rather than a film on TV. What you try to do with short drama is to create that compulsion through emotional cliffhangers rather than cinematic craft or complex narrative. This constraint makes also what is a short drama because when you have only a few minutes, every second of your drama must count, must earn its place.
It's more similar to novels, right? What you mean, right? You are the first person to mention about similar to novels.
I mean, in a way, it comes from novels. So to me, there are similarities that, in the sense of you want the user to keep on turning the page, on scrolling the episode.
And in the US and Europe, short drama first gained traction among the female audience, particularly through romance-driven content. And why do you think that happened?
I think that romance has always been the most consumed genre for women globally, we're talking about novels, soap operas, fan fiction, and I think short drama just make it accessible instantly by removing every barrier. You don't have to commit to a certain amount of time to watch the episode. It's available exactly whenever you want in your pocket. But also, I think that the emotional mechanics of the format particularly adapted to the fantasy that is at the heart of romance stories. The core desire that drives the human beings, being love, power, and belonging. This kind of desire they resonate universally, but they've been underserved by mainstream or female audience. And I think that short drama met that need directly.
Do you think those male audience is underserved. Is there any need for male-oriented microdramas?
Yeah, I mean, I think it's beginning. We can see platforms exploring the male audience. There are more and more action-oriented stories. So I think that the it's not about the format. It's more about the genre and the execution. Definitely think there is a market for male audience, but maybe just the stories are different, and we just need to find the right way to tell them. But I think that some of the platforms have managing to do it actually.
And on shorts, many production focus on romance, campus love, and sometimes forbidden love. So, what drives these creative choices, and how do you typically develop new story concepts?
Everything is based on data at first. So we choose these genres because they have the strongest retention and conversion for us. We look closely at on the trends too, on web novels, on book talk, for example, because we want to rely on proven readers communities. We want to meet the audience where they are. And since we focus on the US market for now, we also want to have stories that resonate with the US audience. So we also get inspiration from feature films sometimes. For example, in the beginning of last year, we released The Love Switch, which was adapted from the movie Face Off. We try to have really to adapt our stories to localize them to the market.
I'm just curious, are your writers from US or are they Americans?
Our lead writer, Chul Zilberg, is from US, mainly from US, I would say. We have Ukrainian, Chinese writers, Canada, but I would say that 80% of them are from the US. All the stories we write are original. We haven't adapted any IPs yet. I guess that's easier. We don't localize, for example, Eastern stories. We all write them ourselves. We localize, they are made for the US market primarily.
Are you going to develop male-oriented stories or it's not your plan currently?
We think about it. We have to be cautious. I mean, we don't produce as much as the biggest competitors, so we have to be cautious in the stories we develop. As I was saying, it has to be backed on real data. But we think about it. We may have a more male-oriented story coming soon. I mean, this is we really want to explore everything. We are thinking about it. As I was saying, we just need to find the right formats. But a nice way to do it is to, as always, focus on what's working for short drama, but adapting the genre to the male audience. And maybe having starting with a series that can resonate with both audience is a way to take less risks for us.
You just mentioned about data and retention rate. How does shorts use data in decision making? And when evaluating a short drama, which performance matrix matter most, such as completion rates, L lifetime value, or LTV or something?
I mean, I was saying that it's really at the center of everything we do, from the script writing phase to when we scale the user acquisition. So for the performance of a series, the metric we will look at the most is the episode completion rate and the World Series completion rate, because that tell us where the users drop, and so if which episode, which hook cliffhanger is working, and if in the end the series is working. So this is the main one, let's say. And after that, of course, we look at user acquisition on the return on the ROAS for each series, the LTV, the ARPU. These are really the business metrics we optimize for in the end. But they really depend on the series itself, and so on the episode completion and the series completion. So the ARPU and the LTV and ROAS are the extension of the series completion rate.
A lot of people may be dropping off from, let's say, the 15 minutes and 30 second
Ah,
exactly this point. Then you find out
okay.
many users drop out. How do you deal with this?
I mean, we would, it's about testing different. We did that in the past. If an episode, we see that a specific point doesn't work for a series, we try to rework the episode if we can, because it depends on the production material. Trying to rather, if we can, modify edit the episode to find a better angle. Moving, it also depends on the paywall episode because this is when we see the biggest drops with the episode in which we put the paywalls.
Just a few people drop out, let's say at 15 minutes and 30
Yeah.
seconds. It doesn't matter, right? But if you see a trend that a lot of people are dropping out at this point, you might be re-edit this, and it depends on the footage, right?
Yeah, so
How
because sometimes there's nothing we can do because we don't have, or maybe that's because just the script wasn't good enough. And so the production, everything depends really on the script. It's half of the work, I would say, but the production will be hard. If the script is not good, the production won't be able to save it completely. Everything starts with the script. So there's something that can be changed in post-production to improve a weak script. But for us, everything really starts at the writing. Is the story strong enough? The hooks, the cliffhangers, the emotion, really, it starts from writing.
Let's pause for a second. China is about 3 years ahead of overseas markets. What is happening in China will likely happen overseas. That is why I wrote Future Playbook, China's short drama ecosystem and insights for global business. If you want to tap into microdrama industry, start there. Now let's continue. You mentioned about paywall because I found out there are some episodes the paywall is as early as episode 5. And what factor determine the timing of the paywall on shots? And does the paywall structure evolve over time based on performance data?
Paywall is not, there's no fixed rule for the paywall placement. But that being said, our series are most of the time are around 50 episodes long. We've seen that for us, placing the paywall around episode 5 is kind of a sweet spot. But of course, it will, and we tend to write the stories around that because we feel like we can, in 5 episodes, we have the time to set the characters, set the story, and build enough emotional tension for the viewer to feel hooked, to feel engaged. But of course, we are always testing different placement for the series. We are A/B testing 2 or 3 placement for each series. But it will, I was saying, writing is key, and it will really depend on the how much emotional investment we have managed to build until the first paywall.
Right. So when you say A/B testing, doesn't mean sometimes you can set up the paywall at episode 5 and the other group of audience will set a paywall at episode 6, let's say,
Yeah,
and see which one performs better. Got you. And on shorts, what retention rate do you say consider strong for a successful title? At what point do you feel confident scaling a show?
of course, we closely looked this retention curve across the first 15 episodes I was mentioning before. But what we want is that we have really a smooth curve. But when users hit the paywall, you can see a drop. The goal is for this drop to be the lowest possible. But a good retention rate for us, so various metrics. One general metric is the open series to finish any episode. If that is around 80%, this is a good sign of a good show for us. And then by episode 20, if we manage, so from all the users that open the series that reach the 20th episode, around 65 to 70%, it's the sign of a hit for us and across really the end of the stories. But we see that when they reach past of the show, so let's say a 20th, 25th episode, most of them go to the end because they have paid already. Really, the key point is having them pass the first paywalls. By finishing a show around 50, between 50 and 60% of the users finishing a show, sorry, is the sign of a hit for us. I mean, we've been in the industry 2 years now. We rely a lot on data. So we can see pretty early. So if we reach this retention is open to finish 80% and episode 20 being around 60, 70%, this is a sign that we can scale the show. But of course, there are also the marketing signs, but everything's linked. But if we have good ROAS, good LTV on the first push of the marketing campaign, this is also the sign that the show will, a sign that we can scale the show.
How does Shorts design the user journey from discovery to paid subscriber? When they first hit the ad or from ad buying and to download the app and to pay this app to subscribe.
First, the discovery of a show happens mainly through paid acquisition. We do have our organic social media channels in which we post. The marketing team is posting a lot, but for most of the users, it happens through paid acquisition. So we run targeting campaigns on all the social platforms using the series are written basically as ads. So the marketing team are using the episodes as ad creatives. And so from marketing, when the user tap on an ad, he lands in. So he go through the app store, download the app. And then it depends. We have various paths. Either the user will go through an onboarding in which we ask a few questions about his preferences, stuff like that. And he will go through a soft paywall. So this is the first pay point he will see. And then, paywall is dismissible. And when entering the app, is shown the series he has clicked on, the series for which he has seen the ad. Another path is that after downloading the app, the user directly sees the series when opening the app, and so it doesn't go through the onboarding. We are testing a bit of both. The journey is the shortest possible between the user has seen an ad, he has been hooked by the series, so he wants to see the full series. So we want to bridge this gap as closely as possible. But there will always be the friction of the having to, if he doesn't have the app yet, but having to download the app through the App Store and installing it.
Mention about ad buying, the ad creative. So where the ad creative from? Are those all from the free 5 episodes or they're from all parts of the microdrama?
Can be all parts. We have, when watching the series, we identify all the ad moments. So it can be our marketing team is testing a lot. We rely more on the first episodes because they have been written for this. But sometimes it will be a combination of various episodes, for example. So it could be episodes later than the first 10. So it really depends on the series. It can be first 10 are the most important, but we use also later episodes.
You previous work in the gaming industry. So from a product perspective, what similarities and differences do you see between designing a mobile game and building a short-run platform like Shorts?
I worked 5 years at Ubisoft Mobile. I was in product marketing. But the thing is that we can say we are not only selling content, but we are selling what we could call emotional loops. Mobile games are really built around this core loop, hooking the user, engaging him, and then monetizing him at the right moment. This is really for free-to-play games, but monetization in free-to-play will feel like like a natural part of the gaming experience. This is what we call the first purchase moment. It's the point where the user is enough emotionally engaged and it costs him more to quit the game rather than paying. So in that sense, short drama work the same. We want to invest the user throughout the story and make that moment in which he hits the paywall feel too costly for him rather than having to pay. So this is this emotional loop, this game loop is really something that resonates for me. There are also some other mechanics that have been borrowed to the mobile gaming, like the fact that you can watch ads to unlock content. You have the two currency system. You have a soft and a hard currency. This is the kind of things that are similar, but there are still some differences. The replay value of a mobile game is you could play the game for months. When a short drama, a series, has a limited time span. Once a user has binged the series, the replay value of the series is limited. So we really need to rely on more on traditional streaming for that. Having a large enough catalog of series, so the user stay in the app and keep on monetizing.
So you think it's more closer to streaming platforms, right? Short drawn platform, or it's more
I
closer
mean,
to a gaming platform?
it's a little bit of both. I think the emotional mechanic is really closer to the gaming platforms. And then we rely on so I would say closer to the gaming platform. But you still have to rely on some traditional streaming to retain users on the long term.
So currently, I know paid user acquisition still plays a major role in short drama distribution. So when evaluating paid campaigns, what data signal do you focus on most? So do this signal influence content creation or genre selection?
Yeah, as I was saying earlier, the primary signal will be the return on ad spend of each series, which is driven by the cost per first purchase. We don't really look at the cost per install because we would say an install is just a visitor when the purchase is the a user that really converted. Other thing that's key also is the conversion rate of the creative because it will give us an early signal of if the story hooks and if that resonates with the audience that have entered the app. And so for genre selection, this is marketing is the best way of testing our content. So really, there is I don't know, two-way relationship between marketing and production and script writing because we gather a lot of data from marketing. We can say, looking at the conversion rate or the ROAS of a campaign, we can see which specific hooks or genre tropes are working for a specific audience. And so this impacts our content production afterwards.
Those ad creatives are added from the microdrama, right? The show. But
Yeah.
how do you know if those ad creatives didn't perform well in the market? How do you know it's the ad creatives problem or the ad buying team's problem, the marketing team's problem?
That's a good question. I don't know if I have the answer to that. There's always something between the content team thinks the marketing team I didn't push the right ads and the other way around. But clearly, it's about data. If the hooks, I was saying the content team is also selecting the ad moments from a script and pushes them to the marketing team. So the marketing team use these ad moments. They are also doing their own creatives and their own edits. But since we are testing a lot, when we reach a certain amount of testing and that nothing works, can say so nothing worked meaning the cost per first purchase is really high. The CVR of the conversion rate of the ads are bad. Once we have tested enough, we have the answer to the question that the series, the hooks are not strong enough, the series is not performing, and it's not on the marketing team.
In some markets, paid acquisition deliver fast feedback, while long-term social media operations receive less focus. How should platform balance paid traffic and organic growth, especially in overseas markets?
The main thing is paid acquisition. I think you need marketing, deep paid marketing expertise to exist as the short drama app. And the thing is that we can see that most of the platform they rely heavily on paid marketing. For testing a new market, in paid marketing will give you answers more quickly than any organic campaign you would run. You can test different creatives, how your creatives, how your stories resonate to the audience. So to me, this is really the primary. But if I was mentioning, we also have our own organic channels. They are here to support the paid marketing, but without paid marketing, it's hard for them to exist, I would say. But there's also something I was saying it's everything is about the script, about your story. So if your script is written well enough, if your hooks are good enough, I think you should be able to get organic traffic through even so either users sharing your content because they find it good, or even just pushing the free episode. For example, for us, we all the free episodes are pushed on the social media for free organically. And this is also a way to attract users in another way. But organic must be something like 20% something of for traffic. So that's not nothing, but without paid acquisition.
And how do you incorporate audience feedback into future production product planning? How do you receive audience feedback?
Yeah, we think that the market has no correct or incorrect feedback. There's only feedback, if that makes sense. So we don't do any judgments. For us, that's the audience that sets the benchmark or what the drama of what the stories should be. So how we gather it, we take a close look at all the app reviews. We run surveys also into the app on our social media. We are discussing almost every day, I would say, with our users. We see all the comments on everything we do on the social networks. This is the qualitative feedback that we gather and data can tell. And this is really gold. We are also, for example, so we follow accounts like we follow your account, of course, but we are following social media accounts like Vertical Drama Love, that is run by Jen Cooper. And she runs surveys too. She runs the awards, she runs surveys. And this kind of feedback is really a gold mine for us. Because, as I said, it really tells what data can. This is the most qualitative feedback.
Do you accept external submissions from some independent writers? So let's say if an independent writer who want to approach to you and write scripts to you, how can he or she collaborate with you?
So this would be first a freelance contract. Usually, how it's the process is that we have a call with the writer. He sends us some scripts. If we like them, we develop them. So then he joins our writer. He or her will be working with us. So with Rachel and us working on the script and bringing it to production. That's pretty easy. Just have to send us an email or a LinkedIn, or we are pretty open.
Approach you at your linking, right? And like, hey, I
Yeah,
got a script. Maybe outline, right? Outline plus five
yeah,
episodes or 10 episodes.
yeah, yeah. The first 10 episodes and the outline, and we start from here.
AI motion comics are growing rapidly in China, especially last year. So contribute a lot to the Chinese micro drama market. How do you see AI-driven formats? How do you see AI and AI short drama?
We've been seeing a lot of, not a lot, but competitors entering the market. That's funny because I just received yesterday a survey from DramaBox about their anime content, trying to understand if the users like it or not. But I mean, yeah, it's been pretty crazy times with the AI lately. We've seen Seedance 2.0 is coming. I think it's next week or something. I don't know. I don't remember.
Yes, right.
But it's pretty awesome what we can do. Looney Shorts being part of Looney, which is a tech-driven company. We've embraced AI pretty early in our everyday life, in our work life. So we do have our own internal AI studio, which we use for now for two specific goals. So one is to enhance the production of our live action series. So, for example, adding explosion or some, I don't know, specific shots like helicopter shots or stuff like that. So this allows us to maintain a high production value but keeping the cost down. And the other thing, so just like motion comics, we use that AI to test new genre because AI is really suited for that. We try to replicate live action with AI, but it doesn't feel as natural as real actors, and that's normal. But we tested for motion comics. We are big fans of true crime, so maybe you'll see some true crime series from us soon. But we test a lot and just trying to find the next genre. But I think live action will always be there. We see how people, how the fans, how the users, they love the actors. There really is a community of vertical drama actors. Everyone, they have their fan base. And what people, just like for traditional series and traditional TV, there is an attachment between the audience and the actors, at least for now. I don't think AI can replicate that. We will still need a real human performance. Maybe that change, I don't know. AI is a really good way for us to work better, to explore new things. But we will still need the humans at some point.
How do you see the future of short drama?
It feels like it's only the beginning of something really big. I think this year special, we've seen a lot of Hollywood companies wanting to enter the space. The format is becoming mainstream. It used to be a subgenre of soap operas or of TV, but right now we can see in the press everywhere it's all about short drama because it has been proven to be a working format. So I think we will benefit from that recognition. And so to me, I think the quality will continue to improve. Budgets will increase. I think that they have already starting increasing. And maybe we'll see some, just like we had for TV or for traditional movies, like having short drama IPs appearing with everything that goes around it. I don't know, maybe some sequels, some merchandise. Really, it will. I can see it really becoming mainstream.
How is
Yeah,
the vertical drama in France or in Europe?
it's there. It's not as big, and that's why we focus on the US market primarily because this is the bigger market. It's starting to be there. France, Germany, maybe Russia can be something, but it's starting to be there. Not the biggest market, but this is definitely a market that we have in mind after the US.